Okay, let me show you how you can create scaffolded Cornell notes using the Have a Life Teaching AI coaching bot. Cornell notes are a great way to organize the thinking of students because they are very structured. I will show you what they look like in a minute, where the learning intention goes on the top row. The middle row is divided into two columns. On the left is one column for questions that students can write about the notes they're taking. And on the right column is where students would take the traditional notes. I should also add the column on the left, the question column, that students can be creating from the notes they're taking can also be an area where students put key vocabulary that they're going to need to know for this particular lesson and learning objective for the day. And then down below, in the last row, the bottom third row, is where students will summarize the learning that occurred that day. That's a great way of consolidating all the information that students have added above. This is a great way to get students to organize their thinking. It also allows opportunities for students to pair share and peer share their notes across other students. Folks can get a sense of what taking organized notes looks like. There are a lot of opportunities for Cornell notes. It's easy to go back, especially if the students put these notes in a binder. Let's say you give them blank Cornell note sheets with hole punches that they could put into a binder. It's a great way for students to keep track of what they're doing. But not all students are going to find this easy, particularly students who are your MLLs. Your MLLs might find it a little overwhelming at first to process all that language. Now, that doesn't mean you don't do it with multilingual learners because it's a very structured way of taking notes, and they could go back and look at those key vocabulary terms. They can go back and look at the key questions that they should be able to answer from their notes. But you're going to need to scaffold it so students don't start from scratch, but have some grounding and you reduce the cognitive load, but the language overload. So let's show how we can use the AI bot to help us both create Cornell notes and then scaffold them for students with language processing limitations. So I'm going to type in here, let's say we're looking at a lesson objective for a 10th grade science class, earth science, aligned to 7th grade New Jersey science standards. I happen to be in New Jersey. So we'll start here to see what the learning is that students should be doing for a particular day. So it says lesson objective, New Jersey Science and GSS aligned. Describe the cycling of Earth's materials and the flow of energy. Gives us success criteria that the students would need to be able to show that they've mastered to show proficiency by the end of the period. Okay, now the lesson objective is at the top because the standard is not a lesson objective. The lesson objective comes from the standard, but it is not the standard itself. It's broken out. So students will be able to develop and use a model to explain how interaction between Earth's gas, geosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere shape the Earth's surface and influence weather patterns using existing evidence, from maps, diagrams, and data. Here is my lesson objective. Please develop a Cornell notes template, 3 versions, 1 blank, 1 partially scaffolded for students below target, and a third for multilingual learners. We'll see what we get. Okay, let me repost the or paste the lesson objective. But you can see that it's going to give me three options. One blank, one partially scaffolded for below target students, and one for multilingual learners. And the reason I separated is not all multilingual learners are below target. Some might understand the science concepts, they just have the language overload. So I'm going to paste that, or maybe I didn't paste it before. I thought I did, but let me do it again. Maybe I didn't. So let me do it here. So it says, thank you for sharing the lesson objective. If it was a blank one, the left column would just have key questions and wouldn't have those questions listed out. The right column would have some notes like definitions, diagrams, notes, and evidence. So that part's okay. Left column, like I said, I would leave blank if it was for general learners and let them come up with the questions. Here is Cornell Notes, partially scaffolded. So here I agree with. You would give them the key vocabulary in the left column, like the geosphere is, the hydrosphere is. And then some of those sentence starters. One way two Earth systems interact is. And then in the right column, specifically the definitions for Earth systems that you want them to be writing down. So they don't guess, they know that's where they need to direct their attention, whether from your lecture, whether they're actually reading something. So you see the sentence frames and then the evidence acquired from the lecture, from the full lesson. And then the bottom third, you got your guided summary, which again shows partially a summary frame. There are many summary frames available online for different types of text and lectures. And then here's a version of Cornell Notes for multilingual learners, those ELL students, where, again, the vocabulary, the language support box is actually listed on the top, where you automatically give them student-friendly definitions for the words they're going to encounter all the time. And then you see an area for them to put their word in their home language. In the left column, you have visual and language cues, key essential questions already written out for them. In the right column, it gives you some ideas on how to take notes. So draw and label two Earth systems, arrows to show interaction, words or short phrases are okay, and use diagrams, symbols, or colors. It doesn't do the work for students, but it tells them explicitly what to do and how to take the notes. And then it does give them some sentence frames that they could use to do what they need to do in the right column. And then in the bottom, it gives them a choice. They could write 2 or 3 sentences, draw a labeled model, write in home language, and then put key English words. You can tell students to do that depending on where they are in their English language journey. If they're just entering the language, that's appropriate. If they're transitioning to more fluency, you might want to have them write the 2-3 sentences on their own or draw a labeled model. I might actually even add that you could be putting in images into Cornell Notes, and you could actually have a labeled model already in the right column in the middle row. And you can use the same phenomena. The task stays the same. The access changes. You can use maps, weather images, erosion photos. Those would actually be good strategies for all learners, to be perfectly frank. And then the AI will let you turn this into a one-page printable PDF if you want. So let's say, yes, turn this into a PDF. No, let's stay a Word because maybe you still want to amend it. But yes, you can turn it into a PDF. If you do it in Word, you could download it, edit it, and then turn it into a PDF. The other thing the AI tool does is It takes PDFs and turns them back into Word and takes Word and turns them into PDFs. So let's see if it did it. I don't know why it gives me that error message, but I hopefully will be able to open it. This bot is a continual work in progress. Okay, so you see that it gave us, where'd it go? There's some going on with my computer, but I think you can still see what the bot does. It gives you your Cornell notes, the lesson objective up on the top. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to say, no, format. It's recording the frame for my Snagit. So we'll see how well it does. Let me see what it gives us. Okay, here is a better version. So you got template 1. For the odd level kids, I wouldn't give them anything. I would just say key question cues, notes, models, and evidence. The lesson objective is the first part on all templates. Then you got template 2 for below target students, which is decent. For the third template for the MLLs, you see the key vocabulary is an added box. You got the guided questions and the summary down below. It's a start. Like I said, you might want to massage these Cornell notes a little bit more to get what you want, but that's a pretty good first go. Let me know if you have any questions. My name is John Shimberry from Have a Life Teaching. I help teachers teach and leaders lead. So if you're looking to use my bot, I offer a $19 a month direct messaging coaching service. If you're looking to create your own bot as a school administrator, do reach out. I'm not just an AI coach. I am a teaching, leading, and learning coach. If there are other ways I could help you improve learning for your students, please reach out.